Our daily application today is never fight against something that you know God is allowing. Accept what God allows. That's Daniel 1:2. One of the hardest things to understand as a Christian is how such a loving God can allow so much heartache, so much pain, and tragedy in the life of his children. Why does the Father of the universe just stop all of our suffering? Why doesn't he? I mean, he is God, right? The Almighty is all powerful, all knowing, and all seeing. And yes, I realize I will never really know the depth of what this incorporates. What I do know is that God not only knows our situation, but he also is aware of every consequence to each of our actions, something that we are not privy to. God does not want to see us suffering, but he does want us to spend eternity with him. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. That's 2 Peter 3:9. Even Jesus learned obedience by the things he suffered. And that's in Hebrews 5:8. Many times our shortcomings are exposed in our suffering. Even our strength become more evident in trials. Yes, God knows our weaknesses and our strength, but we do not really know ourselves like we think we do. We are often like the young man who told Jesus he had kept all of God's commandments since he was a youngster. But when Jesus told the young man to sell everything he had, the young man went away sad because he had a lot. This guy obviously thought that he was a pretty awesome Christian. Jesus' response exposed his true heart. Suffering has a way of exposing our true heart and building character and compassion for others at the same time. Many times we bring suffering on ourselves, but often it has nothing to do with what we have personally done. If God does not hasten to the same prayer, then accept the fact that he may be allowing the situation for a season. What Satan means for evil, God can and will use for good. God will not put more on us than we can handle. We may, however, experience more than we want to handle. This is a part of life. Remember that God is in control. No matter what situation we find ourselves in, God can handle it. Trust God's timing and his will. We must be convinced in our hearts that God will do what is best for us, even when we cannot see an end to our circumstances. Though our reality changes, the truth remains the same. God's words remain the same. In the worst season of our life, we must ask God how he wants to use us while we're in the middle of our circumstances, of our bad situation. True ministries are born out of the most traumatic circumstances. So remember, just try to let go and let God. Have a blessed day.